This is today's Bible reading. Crossing to the east shore, Jesus' brief visit to the region of the Decapolis, east of the Sea of Galilee, was marked by two episodes: the calming of a storm and the healing of demon possession. Both episodes focus on the fear and awe of those who witness the happenings, and on Jesus' ability to bring peace. Jesus demonstrated his authority over both the natural and supernatural realms by calming the storm on the lake, and by ending the violence caused by the unclean spirits named Legion. Matthew's account of the exorcism provides considerably less detail than do the accounts of Mark and Luke. Such matters as the man's living conditions among the tombs, the name Legion, are not mentioned. More significantly, Matthew states that there were two demon-possessed men. Similarly, Matthew reports the healing of two blind men, whereas Mark and Luke mention only one. Some have suggested that Matthew mentions two men in both cases to confirm the validity of their testimony in accordance with Deuteronomy 19:15. Now Matthew 8:23 through 34, Lord of the tempest. Now when he got into a boat, his disciples followed him, and suddenly a great tempest arose on the sea, so that the boat was covered with the waves, but he was asleep. Then his disciples came to him and awoke him, saying, Lord, save us, we are perishing. But he said to them, Why are you fearful, O you of little faith? Then he arose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. So the man marveled, saying, Who can this be, that even the winds and the sea obey him? Two demon-possessed men healed. When he had come to the other side, to the country of the Gergesenes, there met him two demon-possessed men, coming out of the tombs, exceedingly fierce, so that no one could pass that way. And suddenly they cried out, saying, What have we to do with you, Jesus, you Son of God? Have you come here to torment us before the time? Now a good way off from them there was a herd of many swine feeding. So the demons begged him, saying, If you cast us out, permit us to go away into the herd of swine. And he said to them, Go. So when they had come out, they went into the herd of swine, and suddenly the whole herd of swine ran violently down the steep place into the sea and perished in the water. Then those who kept them fled, and they went away into the city and told everything, including what had happened to the demon-possessed man. And behold, the whole city came out to meet Jesus. And when they saw him, they begged him to depart from the region. Mark 4:35 through 5:20. Wind and wave obeyed Jesus. On the same day, when evening had come, he said to them, Let us cross over to the other side. Now when they had left the multitude, they took him along in the boat as he was, and other little boats were also with him. And a great windstorm arose, and the waves beat into the boat, so that it was already filling. But he was in the stern, asleep on a pillow. And they awoke him and said to him, Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing? Then he arose and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. But he said to them, Why are you so fearful? How is it that you have no faith? And they feared exceedingly and said to one another, Who can this be, that even the wind and the sea obey him? cities of the Decapolis. After crossing the Sea of Galilee, also known as the Lake Tiberias, Jesus and his disciples encountered a demon-possessed man in the country of the Gadarenes. Gadara was one of the several cities which were known as the Decapolis. The Greek word Decapolis means 10 cities, and in Jesus' time, it referred to a group of Hellenistic cities on the east side of the Jordan River in the vicinity of the Lake Tiberias. The cities of the Decapolis were founded by Greeks and Macedonians soon after Alexander's conquest of Palestine in the late 4th century BC. Although commonly assumed to be a league of independent entities, the cities were actually associated because of their Hellenistic character. Various Greek cultural attributes, such as religion, architecture, sculpture, painting, and town planning, contributed to their unity. This Hellenistic culture made the Decapolis distinct from nearby towns of Jewish, Nabatean, and other cultures. The Decapolis was also a distinct administrative region set up by the Romans and appended to the province of Syria. Just as the Romans assigned Pontius Pilate to serve as governor over the province of Judea, so was a provincial governor, according to a Greek inscription, assigned to the Decapolis region. The demon-possessed man who was cured by Jesus spread the news of the healing to other cities of the Decapolis. People in these Gentile cities often feared miracle workers as some sort of magicians, so word of mouth might possibly calm their misunderstandings. No rejection of Jesus is reported when he himself traveled through the Decapolis region. Now Mark 5, casting out demons. Then they came to the other side of the sea, to the country of the Gadarenes. And when he had come out of the boat, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit, who had his dwelling among the tombs. And no one could bind him, not even with the chains, because he had often been bound with the shackles and chains. And the chains had been pulled apart by him, and the shackles broken in pieces. Neither could anyone tame him. And always, night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying out and cutting himself with the stones. When he saw Jesus from afar, he ran and worshipped him, and he cried out with a loud voice and said, "What have I to do with you, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I implore you by God that you do not torment me." For he said to him, "Come out of the man, unclean spirit." Then he asked him, "What is your name?" And he answered, saying, "My name is Legion, for we are many." Also he begged him earnestly that he would not send them out of the country. Now a large herd of swine was feeding there near the mountains. So all the demons begged him, saying, "Send us to the swine, that we may enter them." And at once Jesus gave them permission. Then the unclean spirits went out and entered the swine. There were about 2,000. And the herd ran violently down the steep place into the sea and drowned in the sea. So those who fed the swine fled, and they told it in the city and in the country. And they went out to see what it was that had happened. Then they came to Jesus and saw the one who had been demon-possessed and had the legion, sitting and clothed and in his right mind. And they were afraid. And those who saw it told them how it happened to him who had been demon-possessed, and about the swine. Then they began to plead with him to depart from their region. And when he got into the boat, he who had been demon-possessed begged him that he might be with him. However, Jesus did not permit him, but said to him, "Go home to your friends and tell them what great things the Lord has done for you, and how he has compassion on you." And he departed and began to proclaim in Decapolis all that Jesus had done for him, and all marveled. Luke 8:22 through 39. Who can this be? Now it happened on a certain day that he got into a boat with his disciples, and he said to them, "Let us cross over to the other side of the lake." And they launched out, but as they sailed, he fell asleep. And the windstorm came down on the lake, and they were filling with water and were in jeopardy. And they came to him and awoke him, saying, "Master, Master, we are perishing." Then he arose and rebuked the wind and the raging of the water, and they ceased, and there was a calm. But he said to them, "Where is your faith?" And they were afraid and marveled, saying to one another, "Who can this be? For he commands even the winds and water, and they obey him." Jesus controls demons. Then they sailed to the country of the Gadarenes, which is opposite Galilee. And when he stepped out on the land, there met him a certain man from the city who had demons for a long time. And he wore no clothes, nor did he live in a house but in the tombs. When he saw Jesus, he cried out, fell down before him, and with a loud voice said, "What have I to do with you, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I beg you, do not torment me." For he had commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man. For it had often seized him, and he was kept under guard, bound with the chains and shackles. And he broke the bonds, and was driven by the demon into the wilderness. Jesus asked him, saying, "What is your name?" And he said, "Legion," because many demons had entered him. And they begged him that he would not command them to go out into the abyss. Now a herd of many swine was feeding there on the mountain. So they begged him that he would permit them to enter them. And he permitted them. Then the demons went out of the man and entered the swine, and the herd ran violently down the steep place into the lake and drowned. When those who fed them saw what had happened, they fled and told it in the city and in the country. Then they went out to see what had happened, and came to Jesus, and found the man from whom the demons had departed, sitting at the feet of Jesus, clothed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. They also who had seen it told them by what means he who had been demon-possessed was healed. Then the whole multitude of the surrounding region of the Gadarenes asked him to depart from them, for they were seized with great fear. And he got into the boat and returned. Now the man from whom the demons had departed begged him that he might be with him. But Jesus sent him away, saying, "Return to your own house, and tell what great things God has done for you." And he went his way and proclaimed throughout the whole city what great things Jesus had done for him. Amen. This is the end of the Bible reading today. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day. God bless you. And see you tomorrow.